Dumelang and welcome to Daily Teta on SABC 1 Nakalina. Tumelo Mothotoane. That's about every Monday to Thursday at 11 a.m. on SABC 1 hashtag being you with one. Of course, we are the youth. We're taking charge, and we are taking charge about a very sensitive topic. It's learning about the rare diseases in South Africa, and also learning how young people cope with dealing with rare disorders, of course, in their lives.
Kini, Shandu, with Daily Teta on SABC 1 hashtag being you with one. Namhlanje sikhuluma about izifo engajwayelekile nabantu abaningi abanazo sifuna ukufundisa kabanzi ngazo as well as ukuthi abazali abanabantwana abanalezi zifo engajwayelekile bazoziphila kanjani iyona into sibheka namhlanje ku Daily Teta on SABC 1. Make sure that you are part of the conversation ngokuthi usifonele ku 0113391315 or find us on Facebook daily_Teta or on Twitter @daily_Teta, on Instagram it's @daily_Teta_SABC1.
Okay, just last week we lost a young lioness. So Longor was very, very inspiring. Onklmte unfortunately passed away last week at the tender age of 18 at the Dr. George Mkhari Academic Hospital, of course, of a very rare disease. Yeah. It's an aging disorder called progeria. And Longor, she was full of life. She was intelligent. She was smart. She was inspiring. And one of her bucket lists, meet the president of our country, President Jacob Zuma, and she did live up, of course, to her wishes. But unfortunately, she passed away. And as Daily Teta, as well as SABC, want to send our condolences to her family, her loved ones, and everyone that was inspired by Onklmte, who's saying her wonderful, beautiful, peaceful, soul rest in peace.
Onklmte ube iqhawe kakhulu because mawutobheka kahle abantu abane-progeria ngokwazi kodokotela abadluli 14 years but ukwazi ukuthi azaphile aze afike kuminyaka ka-18 and enye izinto njengoba uthi umadesha ukuthi bokusifiso sakhe ukuthi ahlangane nopresident ethe sehlanganile nopresident wasemtshela izinto azifisayo ukuthi upresident engamenzela zona wale sahamba nomama wakhe besedolobheni beyothenga umsiko wengubo because bezoba kwi-75 birthday kapresident besimenye siqavile lapho uthe sawuthenga ingubo asebanenkinga ukuthi-ke waba ne-lung failure waseshiya emhlabeni but upresident ke yena uthini ngoNklmte asizwe ukuthi upresident wethu umnumzana Jacob Zuma uthini about this.
With regard to Onklmte Palase, the young girl who came to see me as a special guest, who was fulfilling her wish to meet the president of the country. When I heard the news that she has passed on, I was shocked. More shocked particularly because I'd had a very good conversation with her. And she had listed her wishes since the kind of rare illness she has. One of the things that she knew, she wouldn't live long. And she had accepted this, but had therefore wishes she wanted to fulfill while she's still alive. And she had listed some of them. Among others, she wished to have a decent house with her mother, which she expressed to me. But also she wished to have a car so that she could move smoothly to hospitals, etc., because she did not have a car. She was using public transport, people pushing her around, etc. And when I was responding to her, firstly, I said, I have a foundation, and my foundation will propose to be a friend of her foundation so that we could do things together to see what is it that we could do. I therefore promise that the wish of the house will be fulfilled. And indeed, the arrangements for the house were advanced. I have already had people who were going to start building it, and I still want to continue so that the mother benefits out of the house as a wish for her daughter. I also said the wish she had expressed about the car, it will also be met. I then invited her to attend my birthday as a special guest. I wanted to surprise her with a car. My foundation had already bought the car. In fact, the car was being worked on, putting a logo and everything. I was going to surprise her today by giving the car to her. And I'm sure we will give the car to the mother. And this is what we had wanted to do because she touched me when we had a discussion with her. And therefore, when I got the news, I was touched, I was shocked, particularly because I was looking forward to see her and say to her, some of your wishes have been fulfilled. I'm no longer going to be able to say so. I would like to say to the mother, to the family, to friends, and indeed to many who know her, to say, indeed, would like to express our condolences, heartfelt condolences to a very good human being that South Africa experienced. I would like to say to everybody, let us indeed have good hearts to accept those who have challenges, and we who could be able to lessen the burden on them and the impact, let us do so. And this is what we were trying to do. I thank you.
Sabukeli Daily Teta on SABC 1 #BeNewWith1 and sikhuluma ngendaba kaOnklmte njengoba uzwele kupresident ukuthi isifiso sakhe esikhulu uOnklmte was that athole imonto azokwazi ukuthi aye ngayo mayolanda imedication yakhe naseyibhedlela nayo yonke into. And iJacob Zuma Foundation yenze sure ukuthi lokho kuyenza ngebirthday yakhe by hand over imonto le kumzali wakhe mhla ka12 of April. So isithembiso sabagcina besigcinile as well. Give us a call on 011-339-1315 or find us on Facebook. We're talking about this rare disease ukuthi abantu abanazo as well. Phila kanjani nokuthi umphakathi ba acceptile nokuthi yini abayifisa kuthina njengomphakathi as well. I see something from Lawrence Master Law uthi may Onklmte's soul rest in peace. Even my younger brother was killed by a rare disease 3 weeks ago. We are really sorry to hear. So that's what we're actually talking about today on Daily Teta. Condolences
to you too as well, Lawrence, as you're going through this difficult time. I mean, 3 weeks is still fairly new for Wayne, and I'm sure like a topic is just bringing back those memories. But you know, a couple of weeks ago, Daily Teta we're going to have this program, and we had the honor and privilege of actually meeting le Onklmte and about the challenges how she gets through her day and what keeps her going. And it was so special for Rena this, you know, instantly. Unfortunately, it's under these circumstances. We couldn't have this show without sharing with you, South Africa, what Onklmte's wishes for her life, for her family were. Let's take a look.
My name is Onklmte and I'm 17 years old. I am from Pretoria. I have progeria. It's a rare genetic disease which runs faster. So meaning inside my body I might look like a 60-year-old, you know, things that are functioning inside, but outside I just look like a teenager. Yeah. So that's progeria. It makes you age faster than your normal age. But I guess I survived because I believe in myself and I'm always strong, and I believe that if I'm not strong for myself, then no one will. And obviously prayer. Prayer, it keeps you going every single day, and it also helps you to gain more confidence about yourself. You know, when I pray, I don't just pray to ask God to give me this, this, and that. I just thank God for the life that He has given me, and I just thank God for everything that He has done for me so far in my life. And I ask Him to also bless me more, and not just bless me for material things, but just bless me with my life, health-wise. And just for me to be able to wake up, I thank Him. So prayer, it has been a very, very powerful tool. Obviously, my family too. The minute they accept it and they can deal with it, then it's easier for people outside. Firstly, you have to accept it as a parent that, okay, my child has this kind of disease and this is how it is. If you accept it as a parent, I think it becomes easier, because then you'll be able to make it through, and you'll be able to accept it, and you'll be able to teach other people that, no, this is this, that, and then this is how my child is, and I love her the way my child is. The one thing that I've achieved that I never thought I would was for people to accept me for who I am and not to look at me as a different person or as a person who has a a rare genetic disease. So that is the one thing that I've always wanted to achieve, for people to know me and accept me for who I am.
Beautiful. A lioness, a young, inspiring South African. At 18, it's about the power of prayer, the power of motivator, and the circumstances, being her rock, and also being such a rock to South Africans, and knowing you can overcome anything that you go through. We're really proud of you, and we honor your life today, Onklmte, and we thank you for your life, and may your beautiful soul rest in peace. Let's just take a look at one more, comment from social media. We have a, a Facebook comment from Teresho. Ontla, you are an eternal part of me. You take away any doubts that try to visit my mind. I will never forget you, Teresho from Hebron. And if South Africans, memorial service ya Onklmte. So I know the loved ones memorial servicing, but some of them actually, were kind enough to make time for daily Teta. And share their fond memories, Onklmte, and then they have to dash back, of course, go memorial servicing. So let's not waste any further time. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, we're meeting some of the friends and loved ones. Onklmte, we'll be right back. Welcome back, Lilibility Daily Teta. SABC 1, we have the spotlight on rare diseases in South Africa. Of course, some of the young South Africans, they're also going through, living with rare diseases, and it's such an important show because we need to be empowered, we need to be educated. As community members, as society members, how do you make sure and make the load lighter as opposed to but education is very key. It's very important what do they go through every day and how we can actually make their load light. So thank you so much for joining us, and we're also, as you know, paying our tribute to one of our young lioness, the late and great 18-year-old Onklmte, of course, passed away last week, and memorial service go Hebron.
And then into Dumasipe Agakul Damslanje is that Abazali Bona, because I'm going to Abazalabani Bona Abastola Betila Kakul Numtuana on a rare disease, and as goes Katuzo and Zajan, Umtuana Tinasa sinking in, and Notumzanaga understand it. But right now, Sukuluma Indaba Onklmte and Sinabangan Baka as well, a good doctor Baba Lafunda Gamaboza, as well as Titimba, and Mungel with the Teta Buffet to Gulolusugo, Oluset Gangaga.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
We wish it was really, under other circumstances. Mara, before let's just rush to Tips as well, who's on the line. Tips, Shampunaza, like comedian, on a show, sports on SABC 1, comedian, Kena the MC, of course, Lochonileko, memorial servicing ya Onklmte. Tips, Rao Amorel. Mara.
Yeah, no, get fine, no,
get fine. I wish we can give it under different circumstances.
Yeah, but you know what? Today we are celebrating.
Yeah, it's a celebration.
No, I was sad last week. Right now, I'm just celebrating because the memories that I had Onklmte will make anyone smile. So I don't have any memory of her sad or in pain. So today we're going to celebrate through the memorial service.
It's quite amazing what you say that, because Nrilibelichi inside Yagare, such a powerhouse. I mean, she was so wise and so bubbly. Someone Olungor, she was literally the life of the party. And hopefully, like the memories, I keep wondering what a friendship belina in Jelibian.
Well, what does that have over yeah, we can't. Don't even even in the street. We were when I met her through seeing her more TV. And then and I didn't pay attention until I realized Hebrew and I'm from Karamphua.
Right.
And I felt like we are betraying her, because the community high, and then for us to see her through Deborah Pata, while we were not doing anything as the neighbors, And then after that, I heard one line that made me actually go to a place where people with progeria never leave to see the age of 13. Then I decided to throw a party and call it Beyond 13.
Wow.
And she turned 13, and then I threw another party called Sweet 16. And she was 16, then she turned 18, and then Then I was on a mission and said, like, I'm working on mission 21, but I was already celebrating that you beat 13 for 5 years.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And
you know?
And Shampoo, what can you say to abazali abanabantwana that abanama rare disease esingawajwayele? What did you say to abazali bakhe? Because I think one thing that Onklmte was telling us that umzali kumele accept ukuthi umntwana wakhe unjani.
Yeah, because sometimes you, as a parent, the way you're handling the pain, the disease, is actually showing on the kid.
Yeah.
You know, you might find the kid is handling the disease very well and she's very positive, and then when as a parent, when you're down, she will be down because in our head.
Yeah.
So as parents, just make the most out of the life of your kid. Make her smile. Make him accept that she's alive.
Oh yeah.
You don't understand. Onklmte only had progeria. There was nothing wrong with her.
Yeah.
It was just progeria. It was a normal person. She was 18. The last conversation we had, she was telling me now she's an adult, she can go clubbing.
I know, but you know what, tips are released because we know we have serious duties of sharing her memories as the MC Memorial Service. But thank you so much for your time, ne?
Thank you very much.
All right,
2
Papa.
o'clock, thank you.
All right, thanks, Papa. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Papa.
Guys, let's come to you, Dr. Babola. I want to find out when indaba zokudlula emhlabeni kaOnklmte wazizwa kuphi and zakuphatha kanjani ngaleso sikhathi?
Mina ngizwe ukudlula kaOnklmte mangifika esibhedlela on the same day ashone ngalo. Onklmte had gone to collect ingubo zakhe for the birthday party ka president, which was the following day. President who also shares a date with the mother. So it was the mom's birthday on the 12th as well. So bebehambile ke bewulanda ingubo zakhe from a designer who also we thank ukuthi ube contribute empilweni kaOnklmte by making sure ukuthi ubukeka ngendlela efanele. So mayebesuka lapho, unfortunately ngithe mangifika nami ku designer ngiyothatha ezami izingubo ngafika kuthiwa nje baphume manje. So bahamba ke endleleni, then around 7:30 ngathola a phone call kusis Tebuho, who is one of the trustees, to say, you know what, Onklmte is not doing well. Ngathi ngenze njani na athi if you akhona ukuza ngicela uze. So I had to rush home and get the charger ngahamba ngangena emotweni ngagijima mangifika eGarankuwa esibhedlela but Onklmte useshiyile. So Onklmte kahle akukanga banganagula. Njengoba besazi ukuthi icondition yakhe besazi njengoba echazile even on the video ukuthi ingoba ekhula, so even ama internal organs wakhe awumuntu omdala ungambona uthi una 18 kanti yena ngaphakathi lakhe lidala ukudlula because Onklmte kwakushiwo odokotela where she was treated in America ukuthi she grows at a rate of 6 times than the normal age.
Sure. And I think I've seen a picture or two go your Instagram, you know, showing very fun, fond memories. Let's smile, Onklmte. It gave the impression that we had a very close relationship. You really, really adored one another. How did you feel?
It was one of those rare moments where you feel helpless. Nekimita Mudimu Onklmte, which means God has covered me. That's what her name actually means. And you cannot separate the name Onklmte and God. As you have seen, gathered clip she was a strong believer and a praying young lady. I met Onklmte through Insta Live. I was in Mauritius at the time and I got a message and she said to me, I'd love to meet you one day. And I got my wife to actually get in touch with her. And I invited her to my birthday, actually, my 38th, as my special guest. Of that birthday, she got to meet Minister Kigaba, who actually arranged the meeting with the president as a result of that. And I was so touched by her effervescence and her positive spirit that I offered to actually host her 18th birthday. And that was the greatest gift from me to her, because she was not about material. She was about moments and spending time with those that she loved and those that loved her back. And, you know, the last time I actually spoke to her was on my wife's birthday when she was wishing my wife a happy birthday, which was the Sunday before she passed on. But now, like Shampoo has said, it's about celebrating a life of a young lioness that proved many and against all odds that God is alive. Mudimu Onklmte, she has been protected beyond 13 up to 18.
Sure. Dr. Babalwa, what can we learn from a situation Onklmte going forward as a season as South Africa? Because I remember we saw I woke up, I think I saw something on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. What can we learn from the situation in Onklmte?
You know, there's a lot of lessons that we have to learn about her as a person and us as the people. There's one thing that I need to be thankful for. Ama platforms afana naganjini. You know, the tiny giant has fallen. She was very tiny in size, but she was bigger than life itself. You know, she was this force that was driven by something that was beyond what we could see. Onklmte has transcended living in a body and lived at a higher level. She was vibrating at a very high frequency. So we thank you guys. But ama ripple effects of the tiny giant falling have been seen. That today, masihlalela sikhuluma ngo-Onklmte sithi, you know, akungabi u-Onklmte kuphela bakhona nabanye abantu who've got other rare diseases that we need to look at. But going beyond that, Onklmte stood for one thing and one thing for one thing only. Ati Mama Babalo, I'll be Mama Babalo whenever she likes it. I'll be Babalo when she wants to discipline me, because she could reach all levels of people. Onklmte would say, you know what, look at me, I'm going through quite a few things that some of them you can't comprehend, but I'm happier than you. I laugh more than you. So that's one thing. Onklmte believed in happiness. The second thing that she stood for is the now and here. Onklmte always said, you guys are worried so much about tomorrow. At Mina, maybe I know and understand it better because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So Onklmte was that kind of a character that said, let's not look beyond what is here. Can we embrace what is here now? And the last thing that I always think, we also need to put it out there. You know, she would say to me, Mama Babalo, because she had a slogan, even though I can't remember it to the T, but the slogan was, you need to realize what you are capable of.
Teta on SABC1, hashtag being you with one. And of course, Mauga Facebook guest at daily_Teta, and Twitter at daily_Teta. I see something from Twitter as well. Well done to at Titimba and the wife for the role they played on Onklmte. Last days, keep up the good work, guys. After this, just to find out exactly about lemon disease, now as umphakathi, as society, as a family as well. This is Daily Teta on SABC1. Bahleli nathi kwi-Daily Teta on SABC1, hashtag being you with one. Isikhuluma about izifo engajwayelekile nanokuthi amanye amagama azaswazi nokwazi. So thola namhlanje ukuthi amagama azo athini nanokuthi zithithwa kanjani if kukhona indlela zokuzitreata nanokuthi abantu abanazo izifo as well. At home, you can also give us a call if now is 6 minutes fana, maybe we say Mpangeni, maybe we say KZN, Blimpompo as well. Give us that call 011-339-1315. On Facebook, I see there's something as well. Actually, Twitter, speech master. Uti hala guys, Mina, I got heart disease and in 6 years now, if in the end I go joker a long distance, ivuge part in there and the bonana not that's from speech master. There's a problem with the heart disease, so he can't like jog for longer because he has to see a doctor each and every time after jogging.
I'm glad that at least he's seeing, you know, a doctor and making sure that it's been detected. So
not a traditional doctor.
I mean, if it's okay, I guess. I mean, we can't discriminate. But I'm just saying, as long as you get it checked out, please, and make sure you don't. Because I think sometimes we put off things aside.
Exactly. I'll be fine. I'll just be fine.
And it could be serious.
Exactly.
But we have doctors, of course, a panel of experts. They are experts in this field, and they deal a lot with health-related issues and, you know, some rare disease cases. We have, of course, Dr. Robert Leibrandt and Dr. Thetha Mohammed joining us today, just to talk about, you know, our topic today. So thank you so much for joining us and coming out of your busy schedules to talking about this. But let's talk about rare disease and how common it is in South Africa. Let's look at perhaps even the cases that we have in South Africans, or even particularly amongst young South Africans.
Okay, so I mean, South Africa per se, I mean, we might think that we might be behind in a lot of the medical stuff, but we're actually not. We see a lot of pathology. And I think because of the vast number of people that we have and the diversity, we actually see a lot of the rare diseases. So, for instance, Onklmte's disease, progeria, very rare, 1 in 4 million incidents. I've actually only seen one, my colleague as well. We were both actually fortunate enough to actually meet her. So, very rare disease, but obviously I think the biggest thing is to create awareness. Creating awareness for the public with regards to all these rare diseases will help us obviously diagnose more, manage them appropriately, and obviously better research as well. So that's the most important.
Dr. Rob, let me come to you. Let's talk about these rare diseases and then looking at from a parent's point of view. Let's say, how do I even realize that my kids actually has this not so normal disease? And what must I do after? Because some people will say it runs in a family. So it's just a family thing.
I think the difficulty with rare diseases really is even us as doctors, because of the rarity of the disease, often us as doctors won't notice what disease it is until very late. You know, Onklmte, for example, was born with the disease, but she was only properly diagnosed at the age of 12. It is often difficult to see, but I mean, I think my advice would be, if any parent is worried about their child in any way, is worried about the child developing slower than other children, or not being able to do certain things that they might seem normal, I think the first port of call would be to go to a general practitioner or to whichever doctor would be treating. And I mean, we have a very good referral system in the country that you can get to specialists, and you know, often if doctors don't know what the condition is, we refer on to higher levels of care, and then the diagnosis does get made.
Let's look at the issue of Onklmte, progeria. Is there anything that maybe from now going to the next 20 years that can be done?
Yes, well, she was, I mean, from a progeria point of view, Onklmte was only as far as I know, the third patient in South Africa ever documented with the condition. She's the only, first and the only black patient ever to be diagnosed with the condition as well. And she was also, progeria per se, has got a very, very good and a very extensive research foundation, which is based in America. They do keep documentation of every patient worldwide documented with the condition, and they have a lot of research and projects going on these patients. I mean, the thing about a rare disease is that in order to study, for us to study and learn things about it, we need collaboration between all countries around the world, with all, in order to learn more about the patients. And the Progeria Research Foundation doing fantastic work on that. She was part of a clinical trial, as you mentioned. She was going to America quite regularly for her treatment. And you know, the treatment that she was on has been showing quite good improvements and progress.
And Dr. Fazana, I mean, you mentioned, you know, access, or rather progress that we've made in access to, you know, healthcare systems, you know, for for rare diseases. But let's talk about medical costs and medical aids and how some of them maybe don't even cover you know, certain rare diseases or as urgently as you would need. Because I know even right now, if you have maybe a flu or you just want to consult, they would want cash, then you claim later with your medical aid. Let's talk about costs.
I mean, so costs, I mean, that's definitely a huge factor that plays a role with regards to diagnosis and management of rare conditions. Of course, there are research foundations, there are trials, there are clinical trials that are sponsored by companies. For instance, the drug that was being used on Onklmte was sponsored, obviously, and she was going to America by the Progeria Research Foundation, where candidates from 30 different countries across the world go on. So there's definitely hope in that. Fine if medical costs and medical aids can't cover it, or we have financial burden and cost restraints within the public sector, it still can be covered by research foundations, by research groups, by drug trials. So there is hope, and that's the most important. So I think firstly, everyone should still be aware of the rare conditions, get it diagnosed, and then obviously we can expand our trials. And that's the most important. I mean, exactly with what Dr. Lebron was just saying, the drug that was actually used on her has shown great results with regards to at least a 1.5-year increased survival. So it was one of the first big trials that have actually been done. So excellent results for now. So hopeful for the future. And
what would you say are the alternatives, you know, for those patients or even families that are in destitute areas like your villages, rural areas? What are the alternatives then?
So obviously still to get to a setting, an academic or tertiary setting where they can actually still be seen. And we have a lot in the Johannesburg sector, in Pretoria, in Cape Town, everywhere. We have many hospitals that they can still obviously get to. Not only is medical therapy going to be important, but I would say don't forget the supportive management. Don't forget the rehabilitation. Don't forget the psychological aspects, as we could see with Onklmte. So I mean, cognitively and her mind and emotionally, she was amazing. And that's the thing. I mean, we might forget about all of that, and as doctors also push for the medical therapy, but don't forget the supportive therapy. And I think that's the most important, and there's no cost with regards to that. I mean, that you can support in counseling, support from friends, support from support groups, that's important, and that you can't put a price on.
And also, Titimba was here as well as Dr. Babala. They were saying all things positive about Onklmte, even Tipsa as well. How was she as a patient? Was she always that bubbly and positive?
So I've had the opportunity to meet her once, just once, and just from that one meeting, I could say she was amazing. I mean, that positive energy comes through immediately as soon as you see her. She was she might have looked like an adolescent or a child, but her maturity, you could see just from her speaking. She was so mature, so positive. She knew more about her condition than probably we did. And that just shows, I mean, she was just wanting to educate others, and her positive energy was the most important. So that was amazing.
So infectious. I mean, even when I saw her video, I was just like, oh, what am I doing with my life? You know,
and her spirit, her religious spirit, that was what kept her going.
So I definitely understand when you say, even yourself, you know, being positive and just being, it helps even with your healing.
She reached the age of 18. That was amazing.
That's amazing, Doc. But Dr. Robert, let's come to you as well and talk about the healthcare, you know, sector's role in raising awareness. Is enough being done, or is there more that still could be invested in raising awareness and information being circulated?
I think there's always room for improvement. I think we could definitely do more. I must say that there's one of Onklmte's doctors that was probably her leading doctor while in South Africa was Dr. Engela Honey, who's a clinical geneticist and pediatrician at Steve Biko. She couldn't be here today, but I mean, she's done a lot of work, and I've had the chance of speaking to her as well regarding her care and how we coordinated. And she's been doing a lot of work on a lot of other rare diseases too in order to raise awareness. I think the limitation that we've had before, and I think every country suffers from this, is when you have a rare disease and you're trying to promote it, you need money to do that. And we've got a lot of other diseases that are a lot more common that we still need to raise awareness for as well. But definitely, I agree with you. I think awareness on these things, things like Progeria Day or Rare Diseases Week, which we have at some of the government hospitals, raises awareness and more importantly raises funds from a lot of external funders, so that we can do more research and that we can help these patients better.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robert, for that information. And on that note, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we put the spotlight on other rare diseases young South Africans face with daily, and about to educate about how they get by and what they want you to know so you can make, of course, their load lighter, and how exactly their families are also handling it. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Liability Daily Teta. We're putting the spotlight on rare diseases in South Africa, and also, you know, engagingly young South Africans rare diseases to educate us, and of course, you just to give us a little peek into a life on their day-to-day challenges they face. And I think most importantly, we need to be educated. How do we assist where we can? Family, society, community members, corporates, you know, government, and that's the reason and point why we're having this show. So make sure we can even go to our social media pages and continue, of course, commenting on
and then into Tumelo sibheka as well ukuthi njengomphakathi singazitholi sesibazwela ngathi umuntu uyamzwela as if kwesinye isikhathi lokho ngicathi ukubaphatha kabi abanye, but we find out exactly ukuthi badila kanjani nomuntu ngasonke isikhathi just because they find out about i-disease onayo and ngasonke isikhathi sekutreat special than abanye abantu singathi nje wena ufuna ukusizela ngasonke isikhathi. And today we also have Onklmte Sisehako on a pulmonary hypertension, which is HP, as well as Valentino Mabaso on a chronic skin disorder ukuthi atopic dermatitis. Sanimukele with Teta, sanimukele bosisi.
Thank you for having us.
Cool. Angiqale ngawe Valentino. Isifo sakho mawungasichaza ukuthi sime njani Valentine?
Yes, Valentine. What I have is atopic dermatitis. I was diagnosed with it when I was about 14. It's a challenge living with it because it limits you to a certain level. I got it when I was still a teenager, so it actually attacked me when I was actually going into a very important phase of my life. You know, when you're a teenager, you wanna dress in the shorts and everything like that. So I had to learn to adapt to actually covering up all the time. I was made fun of actually in high school by my classmates and people in the community as well. I was given nicknames as well. Even now, I have this platform that I use to educate people about my condition. So they call me .com because, you know, my skin has this dots all over. So I just, it has been difficult, but I've learned to live with it. I wish I started earlier, but yeah, you just learn to accept and you educate others as well, because you're definitely not alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you have pulmonary hypertension. For please take us through o diagnose training and iminang for bophelo ba gago, and is it for life or temporary?
Pulmonary hypertension ke botlhoko bo ba attackang di lungs tsa gago le pelo. Like gona le high blood pressure ko di lungs tsa gago, so the main arteries tsa the lungs they weaken. And then in my case I'm functioning ka lung A1.
Okay.
And then the right side ya pelo le yona it was affected the time lung ya ka tletse metsi. So living with it, I had support from my mom. At first, I didn't want to accept it. Yeah. I suffered depression, but at some point, I learned to adjust. You know, there's life out there. My mom, na motivator. But how Tamaya, you know, everywhere, the taxing, wherever, you they make fun of you. Bari king, why when na mamela music couldn't go like bari kidi earphones. And then the other time it takes a driver o khana go mpagamisa are kitlisa bomo go taxi nya gagwe. What if taxi ya boma go pele?
And that's because ukuka mochino o thusa go hema.
I had a cylinder before I got the portable oxygen. But then also it does sound like psh. So yes, like hostel reduce cholesterol, and then it tells you how oxygen so what's that sound? Yeah.
Valentine, as well. How do you deal with its discrimination from abantu, from friends, from family, from anyone? Because at some point how does that?
It's very challenging, as I have said. You just have to learn to be positive. As Onklmte had said in her clip, you have to start with yourself. You have to start seeing beauty in yourself, and then opinions of other people will come last. You know, so with the discriminations, they're still happening even now. I'd like to believe that I'm at a point where it doesn't bother me anymore. I can actually dress like this and walk the streets, and whoever says what, it doesn't bother me at all. But it took a long time for me to reach that stage, you know. So I feel that we need to educate the people that we live with. We need to educate the society that you shouldn't discriminate. You shouldn't make your own assumptions. I've been told a lot of times that I'm HIV positive. People just look at me and they make their own conclusion. It's very wrong. It's very sad. You can't just look at me and then you don't know my story, but you're already discriminating against me. Why don't you take time to learn about what I have? Why don't you ask me what is wrong with you? You know, and then I explain. I tell you my story. So we should actually teach people, I have this, and then I didn't ask for it. I wasn't born with it. I was born normal, and then it just developed when I was a teenager. I wished at some point that I can change it, but I actually feel that it's a blessing in disguise, because now I can actually teach other people that you are not alone, you know.
Thank you so much, Valentine. And I think it's important about try today about what you go through. I think it's easy to point at the fingers because I'm in that situation. But once and you actually, you know, understand what they're going through, you'd make less, you know, very insensitive remarks. About Valentine. But I'm a tweet I for once had a rare disease, but by the grace of God, I'm still here and I'm happy, and we wish you very, very, very well.
I was saying something to me, and this is to come to you. I'm diabetic. They will say, they just suggest a medication like, really? Do you even know what am I taking? I think the local sense cut offense out of that.
That's so true. But of course, we're rounding off, you know, our show, but we also have Lolo and of course Lolo on the show, and autism, about how they deal with these dynamics as a family.
Sahleli nathi kwi-Daily Thetha on SABC 1 hashtag be new with one sikhuluma about izifo engajwayelekile, and now at home if nomunye wabantu abanezifo engajwayelekile or maybe ngumzali how udila kanjani naso, mhlawumbe i-comment yakhe ngasiza abantu abaningi ababukela uhlelo namhlanje. So sifonele ke ku 0113391315 or find us on Facebook daily_Teta or on Twitter @daily_Teta. Yona into esikhuluma namhlanje nanokuthi abazali badila kanjani nesimo esinjengale, special makuthiwa nomntwana nesifo esingajwayelekile. Nanokuthi ubona nini as well ukuthi umntwana wakho nesifo esithe asihluke kwabanye abanye abantwana.
Well, Kini, before the break, le Valentine and le young champion Sean Nkamakeng. Of course, Sean uphila ka autism, and you know the family dynamics. How are they? Lolo, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having us here the second time.
It's great to have you. We need to have your, you know, your little bed and your kitchen so you can be residents on Daily Teta, which is lovely.
That will be good.
but let's talk about Sean's, you know, disorder of autism. He's living with autism, I understand, and you're a mother, and you have been there for him since birth. Yes. How have you taken it as a mother?
It has been easy. He was in the hospital for a year. His first birthday, actually, he spent it in the hospital. But we didn't know what was wrong. I thought that it's because he was a prim, because he was born 7 months. So 6 months he was being oxygen for 6 straight months. Sure. After some times, when he was discharged, he came home. So he usually have a shortage of breath. So because of him, I can say I'm a nurse and I'm a doctor, because I do CPR. Then while my husband is driving, we need to rush him back to the hospital. But he walked the same age, like walking. The only thing that we said it was difficult for him, it was the speech. Okay. Then after like 4 years, he started banging his head on the wall. Then I was like, hey, where is this one coming from? Then actually he will go and take a stone, hit it on his head, then when the blood is out, then he will be like, oh, he will be happy. I will cry, I will like, but what is all this? Confused. I can't lie, I went into depression.
I can imagine.
So, but he went to a normal school. So from that normal school, you know, people are looking at you like, what is wrong with this child? This one, you are a curse, like for black, we don't know all this kind of thing. They will say maybe it's cursed from somewhere else, somebody have cursed you or something. So, but I look at it, luckily there was a white lady, her child is also autistic. Then he looked at Sean. He said, no, something is not right. My son was like that. I said, really? He said, yes. So we took him now to a doctor for diagnose. And the thing with autism is, it's confused. People don't understand. Sometimes they will think that the child is normal. Sometimes they will say it's disability. Sometimes. So we went to the doctor now, the pediatrician specialist. Then he will look. He said.
And they informed you.
No, she also was confused. She just said delay growth. I said, delay growth now is which one?
I mean, that's frustrating. I mean, if a medical doctor is also misinformed, he needs,
Then I realized he couldn't, like, motor skills is not going. Then I said, but God, what is all this? But luckily, the sisters, they also, the elder one, that time Michelle was not, because Michelle is the one follow,
Right.
So the sister was like, bro, what is wrong with Sean? Is Sean normal? Because my friend, they told me that your brother behaved like a mad person. They will feel it. She was like, I said, no, don't worry, it's an illness. So the society is, they don't accept. And also parents, that their child is autistic. There's no acceptance. They don't say, no, let's take it. Because these kids, they are very clever. You see all the people, even Bigate is he got a spectrum of autistic in him, you see. So they are very clever with technology and all those kind of stuff. If you put technology here, they will demonstrate it. But with speaking, they can't and all that thing. So we are trying to, like, the awareness out there. You see, as I put on blue.
Yes, it's a resemblance.
I'm happy that we are still in April, because April is the awareness month. 2nd of April, we were out there to tell people all the kind of thing. And I'm also encouraging all the blacks people, because if you go to education, the school that is there, we go to Soweto, they will lock them in the house. Without, they are locked up.
So Lolo, after all these, after finding out from late and everything, how would you describe autism from just a normal person from Soweto, that your child has autism if it behaves 1, 2, and 3? Like, how would you describe it to someone? What is autism?
Sure. I can't lie, there's not answer for that. It's part of a spectrum in a child body, different spectrum. Like you have ADHD, so autism is one of the spectrum. Out of every 10 boy child, 2 of them
will have it.
We have it.
Let's confirm with the doctor, because they're here, and I think we need facts as well. Just please give to Dr. Fazano to answer and just help us. For a parent who's perhaps misinformed or confused about their child, just in summary, briefly, how would you describe autism?
So I think that they made an important point. I mean, as a parent, I think they're the most important in recognizing the features, recognizing whether it's delayed growth, whether it's a difference with regards to socializing with friends, all the little things. Those are the things that the doctors need to know about. Of course, it's not an easy diagnosis to make. Like you're saying, it's a spectrum disorder. So a lot of other conditions that are similar. But yes, they are highly functioning usually. They just have problems, obviously, with perceptual things, certain cognitive issues, and expressive things. And obviously, they need a full assessment from both multidisciplinary, again, from the doctors, from the psychologist, from a pediatrician, and diagnosis early. And I think with the schools these days, it's being picked up quite often. And like you're saying, 2 out of 10. So the awareness is definitely getting better. But definitely, I mean, as you're saying, it's a spectrum.
All right, thank you
and
so
they're
much,
highly
Doctor.
functioning,
All right, thank you so much, Doctor, and thank you so much to, of course, our guests for joining us. And before we leave, Sean, do you want to say hi to someone? Your friend, or Daddy or Michelle at home?
Say hi.
Hello.
On the camera. Say hi to camera 4. Wave your hand.
Say hi.
Hi.
You're famous now, like big great celebrities.
Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi ngibuyele kwihlelo namhlanje iDaily Teta, and I'm sure ukuthi kuningi nikufundile ohlelweni namhlanje. If anything now ufuna ukuthi uphawule ngayo nanoma yini masikhuluma about inhlelo zethu sifonele ku 0113391315.
Yeah. Thank you so much to our guests. Thank you so much, Lolo, and thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank to you, Kogai, for joining us. Stay with SABC1 tomorrow right here on Daily Teta. We're talking about the club culture, but what goes on behind the scenes. Club promoters, club owners will be here giving us a glimpse of what's happening in our clubs in South Africa and more. But on that note, thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.